Narcissists do this thing where they, in a group, target one individual.
They gang up on somebody
And
and
what
make
they
them
will
they
do
scapegoat.
is while
Cowards.
one person
Birds of a
is
feather flock
attacking
together.
the targeted individual, the rest of the narcissists that are in the room will not do anything.
Bullies
While the
and
person
bystanders.
is getting verbally abused, psychologically, mentally, and emotionally abused by the perpetrator.
And y'all have the nerve to
The
act like
rest
y'all
of
don't
the
see this
people
happening.
standing around are bystanders. And all they're doing is sitting back and watching and witnessing.
Cowards.
They aren't doing anything to intervene. They aren't doing anything to stop it.
Bystanders are just as evil as the bully.
So they basically witness a person being abused and they do nothing.
Nada.
So it doesn't matter if they were not involving themselves in a way where they were also being the perpetrators of being abusive. But because they sat back and watched someone that they support abuse another person and they did
You
nothing
can't just
to
sit back
stop them
and watch someone
tell
be
them, "Hey, that's
abused.
enough.
If you
Hey,
support them,
stop. Hey,
speak up and
quit."
say something.
They
Otherwise, you
just
are no better
ignored,
than them.
acted like it wasn't happening, pretended to not see it, or even sat and watched and laughed about it. Or
Sadistic.
even more so, started to instigate the two people fighting. Are you two gonna throw blows at each other, fight each other?
What if we fight you since you instigating?
What that does
Add more fuel to the
victim in
fire.
that situation is it causes that person trauma.
Psychological,
A lot of
emotional trauma,
And
which
in
is
that
just as
moment,
bad as physical.
A person could either have a couple of options. They could stand up and defend themselves, or they could choose to stay silent, go into freeze mode, because they're outnumbered and they don't know what can happen.
You
if
don't
they
know
were to
what jealous,
retaliate.
violent people are capable of.
Because a lot of times when people stand up and retaliate, things get violent and things turn deadly.
They could turn deadly.
Think of what happened to Shanquella Robinson. Rest in peace. May her sweet soul rest. She went out of the country, out of town,
Mexico,
with a group of her so-called friends that had this
enemies,
animosity towards her. And when one girl started to attack her physically, the rest just sat back and didn't do anything.
all
One
of them are
instigated and
cowards.
said, "Quelly, you not gonna fight back?" She said no. So
Why
they were
fight
fighting
somebody that
someone
isn't fighting
wasn't
back?
fighting back.
You're an abuser.
Abusively, viciously fighting this girl, attacking
With
her,
no guilt
and
and
she
no
was not
remorse.
fighting
These people
back.
are
That
sick.
is assault. That is abuse.
They need to be thrown in jail.
And situations like this happen so often. And those people that were recording it just got themselves caught up in that whole mess.
They can't even lie. It's on
But a lot
video.
of situations can happen like that. But you would never know if no one was recording it.
Just because you don't have the physical
And
evidence and proof
why
doesn't mean that it didn't happen.
That
This happens way
story
too often.
really touches me in such a way is
This
I
happened
was
to
in
me,
a
boo.
situation similar, and I'm so grateful that I got out alive, because who knows how horrible that situation could have been.
I
And
could
my
have been dead,
situation
but
was
I'm alive
different
to
than
here to
she
tell my
was,
story.
because I was not physically attacked. Thank God. But I was verbally and emotionally attacked.
And that can cause just as much damage.
And her name is Kiera Dowling Garrett.
This is the girl
This
who
happened
abused
to
me,
when
y'all.
I was
This.
in college at Illinois
That.
State University by my sorority members from Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, Gamma Rho chapter. The year was the fall of 2017 when this occurred. We were at one of our line sisters' house when this happened during homecoming weekend. We were at our line sister Leah Ellis's house. Another line sister that was present is Jennifer Patterson. So when Kiera Dowling Garrett began to start verbally attacking me when I came downstairs from the bathroom, the rest of them just fell silent, acted like they didn't see or hear anything. Jennifer was in the corner taking pictures, having a whole photo shoot with Leah's friend, and girl, you lucky I forgot your damn name. But Jennifer's having a photo shoot in the corner, and Jennifer was the one that was my girl. We were close, at least I thought we were. But when I'm going to her and I'm saying, "Hey girl, can we get up out of here?" Nope, go ahead and deal with her.
Excuse
Don't shoo me
me?
away and make me deal with this abuser. And all the while Kiera is giving all of these verbal attacks, Leah is on FaceTime with our other two line sisters, Kaylin and Arishay. Now, they were together, but they were in another location. They were not with us. And while before Leah even got on FaceTime, she's laughing at everything that Kiara's saying. Kiara's laughing, and it's a whole gang up on me. And
This shit is just traumatic for me to talk about, y'all.
Yeah,
I don't want
I
to
was
give too much
outnumbered.
detail, but this hurts.
So as I'm proceeding to ignore Kiara, not deal with her, looking into my phone or whatever, she's telling me that if I don't look up at her, that she's going to come over there, she's going to beat my ass. Not one time did I look up, and she did not come over and beat my ass, because Kiara, the fuck you would not.
And you
Then
still won't.
This proceeded to go on for several minutes, and I
That's
get up from one
ridiculous.
chair, go over to the couch, and I sit down on the couch, and she stands in front of me. Then I get up from the couch, and as I get up from the couch, Kiara proceeds to snatch my phone out of my hand.
Oh, no, she did
So
not.
at that point, I say, "Give me back my phone." And are you going to listen to me? Give me back my phone. I pay for it. Give me back my phone. So she hands me my phone, and I snatch it back out of her hand.
She wanted a
So
fight
I
at that
go
point.
over into the kitchen area on my phone again, and she's screaming, "Get off your phone. Get off your phone." She's clapping. She's screaming.
The
And
bitch would not stop. She would not leave me the fuck alone.
as much as I'm trying to get away from her, it's not going to work. Now, I wasn't able to just go out and leave because Leah lived very far off campus. I did not have a car of my own. I was pretty much stuck and stranded here.
That's why I couldn't get up and,
And
leave,
then
y'all.
at some point in the whole tirade, Jennifer comes over from her little fucking photo shoot. She comes over and she goes, "Well, are y'all gonna start throwing blows? Like, what y'all finna do?" And then Kiara goes, "I'm fine with that." So now at this point, when Kiara picks and
Because I ain't
bully
did nothing
match
to
with
this
me,
girl
and
that
then all
bad
of a
where she
sudden
wants
now
to
she
fight me.
wants to
The bitch
proceed
was
to
just
fight me
mad.
into whatever, just bothered bitches just want to bother bitches that are not even bothering them, okay? And then once Kiara stops all of this screaming match and attacking me, putting me down with all of these verbal words, then she eventually goes, "Okay, but I'm your line sister and you treat me like shit, and I'm trying
Gaslighting.
to be here for you. I'm trying to be a sister and you just treat me like shit."
After she proceeds to treat me like shit. Bitch, you
treat
got a
me
lot of
horribly,
nerve.
then turns around and tells me that I treated her like shit. Classic gaslighting, manipulation, deflecting, and shifting the blame after and accusing me of doing what she had just done to me. Classic narcissism. Kiara Donnelly Garrett is a covert narcissist. And this story does not stop here. I wish it did, but it does not. What else happened is I decided to go to one of the advisors of our chapter and seek out help for this situation. When I told her what was happening, I had told her about the situation. I didn't get a chance to really explain the situation fully of what happened. And she's saying, "You know what? Why don't we all have a meeting with you and the other two advisors, co-advisors, and the rest of your line sisters? We all have one big meeting and we discuss it. You'll have a chance to say everything you want to say and get off your chest, whatever." So fast forward, when we have the meeting a few weeks later, we have this meeting, and when they say who would like to go first, Kiara was the first one to raise her hand, and she began to speak. Now, of course, what Kiara did, because
Whole
she
ass
is a
lie,
narcissist,
lie and a
she
half.
retold the whole entire narrative, made
herself out to be the victim, made me the
hurt
villain.
her and attacked her. She did not even admit to what she had did at Leah's house, to all of the verbal attacks. Didn't admit to threatening me. Didn't admit to anything.
Didn't
And the
admit
rest
to
of the line
anything for the
sisters that
reasons
were
to why
there
we had
were in
that meeting.
agreement
Just
with this
lied
as
the
well.
whole
They
time,
didn't
and everybody
correct
stood up
her
for
and
her.
say, "No, that's not what happened." They didn't even say anything to admit of the wrong that was done to me. Now, what the advisors did, which was a mistake, is allowed every single other person to speak, and I was the one who spoke last.
And I
even
still
when
didn't
it
get a
was my
chance to
turn
tell my
speak,
full
I was
story.
cut off. I wasn't able to really finish telling my side of the story. Then later what happened is Kiara gives this fake, false apology, and I wasn't buying it because her apology was fake, and two, her apology was not going to rectify the situation, nor justify what she did, nor was it going to undo the damage that was done to me. The whole situation spun around because my response to her,
They didn't like my
is something
response
that
because
people
I
did not
didn't
want
buy
me
her
to hear.
bullshit.
Wow, that's the first time you've ever admitted anything that you have done. It was my exact words. So then what happens is everyone's saying, "She just apologized to you. You need to apologize to her back." So then I begin to apologize. They didn't like how I was apologizing. And then the whole room screamed at me and goes, "No, just apologize." So finally I apologized, say what needed to be said, and the whole room was shut down. It was silent. I was forced to apologize to the abuser when I was the one that was abused. That is what happened when you deal with narcissistic abuse.